Governor Kate Brown, I get up this morning and I read a news article that you're asking for the federal government to come in and take care of the standoff, or whatever y'all are trying to call it or make it out to look like up there in your state of Oregon. Well, do you know what asking the federal government to come into your state entails? Because I'm going to point out a little bit of history, some history that you lived and some history before both of us. Because you seem to be an older woman and you seem to be pretty smart, so you should remember some of these things. Have you forgotten about the American Indian and what they did, what the federal government did to them? Have you forgotten about after the Civil War, about Reconstruction, how they came down here and murdered and slaughtered my kin and my kind down here in the South? Have you forgot about that? But how about some recent history? Let's just bring up some recent history, some stuff you should know. All right, first, let's just go back. How about Kent State? There's what the federal government does. They shoot down college students like rabid dogs. Then we come up to, let's say, Ruby Ridge, where they shot an innocent woman in the face on a little standoff. All over arms, by the way, all over weapons. Then you got Waco. Have you forgotten about those children being burned alive in a building, not even allowed to get out after a long standoff? And it wasn't over some cult, because see, they're going to tell their lies afterwards, just like after Reconstruction, just like lies about the American Indian, just like the lies that demonize the black man. They tell lies to cover up their murdering ways. And here's the lies about Waco. It wasn't about a cult. That place had been there since the 1930s. It was a religious group that just wanted to study Revelations, that's all. It wasn't all that other crap going on. But how did they fund themselves? They sold arms. That's what it was all about, selling weapons. So they killed David Koresh, and they killed all those innocent children. Burn them in a goddamn bunker, woman. And you want this in your state? This is what you want in your state. Murder. Bloodshed. And then, let's just think about it there for a minute, Governor Brown. Think about the retaliation after April 19th, 1993. Think about what happened April 19th, 1995. Have you forgot about Oklahoma City? Do you not think there won't be retaliation if those men are murdered by the federal government? The United States federal government are traitors to the Constitution. This is no longer America. It's run by a bunch of corporations, and they want these lands for fracking, for uranium mining, gold mining, whatever. That's all what's up there around that Hammond Ranch and in that national forest. And that was supposed to be a national refuge made by Roosevelt for the Indians. There are not any Indians on it. They're 30 miles away. And if the Indians up there are asking help from the federal government, I think they need to remember their goddamn history. I think all of y'all need to remember history and what the federal government does across this world and in this United States. They murder. They steal. They burn babies alive. That's what the federal government does. Now, they'll get theirs. But here, I just want to remind you about something there, Governor Kate Brown. The federal government comes up there. This country's already in turmoil. People have woken up. They see that they no longer have their rights. Many of them have actually read the Patriot Act and NDAA 2012. They see the chemtrails in the sky. They see the MRAPs on their streets. They see the police being militarized. They see UN troops, as I see down here in Fort Benning, Georgia, on our soil. So we see the setup, and we've woke up. And it's going to take one little spark, and this whole goddamn country will burn. It'll be in civil war again, just like it was in 1861. And there won't be no Reconstruction this time, because you can't kill 330 million people. Nah, you can't. And you can't take our guns. We have to give them to you. So they're going to try to make some fear tactic shit up there in Oregon to get the American people to give up their weapons. That's the ploy. You need to wake up, Miss Brown. The federal government ain't there to help you. They're not going to help you. They're going to bring death, destruction, and mayhem to your state. And then you're going to have to live with that history. You'll be the governor that allowed murder on your soil over basically a peaceful occupation of public land. So do what you got to do. If you're so weak you need the federal government, I'm going to tell you something. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And when you get this, it's going to spark across the country, woman. You need to think about that. And you need to remember history. Ruby Ridge, Kent State, Waco. And what Waco caused was Oklahoma City. That's the legacy that you're fixing to leave behind by making this decision to bring the federal government in there to take care of these men. Those brothers aren't doing anything. They're not hurting your people. We hear the lies. Everybody hears the lies. We see through the lies. I mean, from the very first headline, white right-wing militia takes over federal buildings. That was a lie. But here's the thing. Here's the truth. When you get them up there, and it goes down like you know that they're going to do, because they're not going to play. The federal government don't play. They're going to come up there and take those men out any way they can. And after that happens, you're going to wake up a beast you don't even want to see. And it's going to be your legacy, Governor Brown. That's going to be what you leave when you die. The woman that started the Civil War because she was too goddamn weak to take care of it herself in her own state and find a solution for it. We find solutions for problems, and the solution is not murder. Look at the rest of the world and what the United States federal government's done. We've murdered and raped just about every country out there. So that's what you're going to get. But we got an old saying down here in the South, Miss Brown. GOV. That means God will vindicate. And God will vindicate on this decision you've made. Promise you that. There's another saying we got down here too. Don't fuck with the fucker. And that's exactly what the hell you're trying to do. You're going to wake it up. And when it becomes awake, it's going to be a force to be dealt with. Because they can't kill us all. Understand that? Think about what you goddamn asking for. Think about the legacy that you want to leave behind. Think about the blood that's going to be on your hands, Governor Brown, if you allow this to happen. You need to wake up. You need to think about what you're damn doing. Because the federal government is a corporate-run institution. They're the lapdog for the New World Order, and you're inviting them into your state. As I said, DOV, Governor Brown. Let's see how it goes from here. Because we don't live in fear. We're taking our country back. See ya.